time for The Pet Show with America's favorite pet expert, Warren Eckstein. Warren is the author of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want and How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. He's here to answer all your pet and animal questions. And now, Warren Eckstein.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Pet Show. Is your boxer acting a bit punchy? Are your ragdoll kittens running you ragged? Did your senior pug think he's Peter Pan? Well, if you love animals, care about wildlife and the environment, and truly want to understand your dog or cat's behavior almost as good as they get yours, if you're confused about your dog or cat or just want to improve their lifestyle, you know what to do. Stay tuned because once again, right here, right now, it is time for The Pet Show. America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle, pet love. It's The Pet Show. So hop up on my couch. Bring those furry little buddies with you, folks, because it is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hello, everybody. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. Hey, for those people, let me just say this right off the bat. I took last weekend off, but I'm back. I have been spending a lot more time. I bought a location in Arizona, so I'll be back and forth, spending the majority of my time, though, in Arizona in the near future anyway. So if you're looking at my YouTube channel and it doesn't look particularly clear today, it's Alex's fault. We spent an hour, Alex and I, trying to figure out the lighting before we went on the air. So I promise by next week, you'll be able to see what the face really looks like other than Casper. That's what I look like now, Alex. I'm looking at Casper the ghost here with this light. But anyway, we'll have that fixed by next week, I promise. So anyway, welcome to The Pet Show. I am back. Yes, I did take a week off, relatively rare, but I had to move my office from California to Arizona, and I still have California. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. But I love every minute of it. The most important thing is Molly and Willie, my little guys, are happy where they are. Anyway, the bottom line, you are listening to The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. If you want to find out why your dog is chewing, jumping, barking, digging, scratching, or your cat doesn't like you anymore, or looks at the litter box and says, peeing it yourself, you have come to the right place. That is what we do here on The Pet Show. We help you resolve any issues you may be having with your pets, and a whole lot more likely, any issues your pets may be having with you. If you want to join me on the ever-growing Pet Show family, as I said, if you want to find out how to resolve any issues your dog or cats may be having with you, or spend some time figuring out maybe you have the problem and that's why your dogs and cats are reacting that way, great time to give me a call. If you're new to the show, very often when I have a caller on the show, I'll give away an item. So if you call in today and you have a great question, perhaps I will send your dog or cat something pretty amazing. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-5752. 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time to answer all of your pet and animal questions. And as I said, lots of pretty amazing stuff to give away on the show as well. I have met some of the most amazing dogs and people and cats this week. It's just been incredible. Pet people are... there are certain people that assume that dog people and cat people are kind of withdrawn. They're more into the animals. But I find the opposite. I find that if you take your dog on a walk on the street, especially my Molly and Willie, who the most adorable dogs in the world, of course, that you meet friends, you have conversations, you talk to people. And one of the things that I find is that when other people are walking their dogs as well, you have that comradeship, you have that feeling of we all know what we're out here doing. So I think it's great that a lot of pet guardians think that people that don't have pets think that we're shy, maybe withdrawn. I think it's the totally opposite. I think pet people are the most outgoing, helpful, lovely, greatest people in the world. Love to hear from you on that as well. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. So I have made a decision that I never want to move again. Anyone moved out there? It's just has to be the Armageddon of life. It's just the unbelievable. I mean, I literally, and I'm not exaggerating, had close to 200 boxes from one location to another. 200 boxes. All right, so 100 of them with Molly and Willie, but I had 100 of my own. Unbelievable. Anyway, I am here. I am here to help you resolve issues with your pets. That's what I do and have been doing for well over 50 years, 43, 44 years now. I'm not sure how many years it is on the radio. It's either 43 or 44. So it's a great time to give me a call. As I said, I got some great stuff to give away on the show today. I got some hugs and kisses back in stock. Of course, my good friends over at Lucy Pet Food. We got some of their great stuff to give away. I also have some great T-shirts to give away as well, and copies of my best-selling books. So if you have a question or a comment, great time to give me a call. Again, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. The reason I'm laughing is I'm looking at my YouTube feed and I said, wow, I need some color. Anyway, great time to give me a call. Let me tell you what's coming up on today's show. Obviously, besides answering all of your pet and animal questions, I've given a lot of thought to this week's show, and I have all of you in mind, so listen to me carefully. Have you ever noticed, really noticed, that after your dog poops, yeah, you should notice that after your dog poops, they dance around like a football player that just made a final touchdown? What the heck is that all about? Are they excited? Is there more to it than that? Is it instinctive behavior? Are they covering up? Are they leaving this? What are they doing? So if your dog is dancing around after he poops, great conversation, Warren. I will tell you why. See, those are the things that keep pet guardians up at night. Also coming up, some people say, Warren, are you a pet psychic? No, I have no psychic powers whatsoever. I have observation powers. I think observation powers are more important than most psychic powers. However, listen to me carefully, and I do believe this. The bond between people and the bond between their pets goes way, way, way beyond the physical world, touching actually the extraordinary. The signs coming up later, I'm going to share the signs with you that your dog or cat may have psychic powers. Huh. Interesting. You don't laugh, don't poo-poo it off. So we're going to talk about that. And I bet you there's people out there that do believe that their dog and cat really have psychic powers. How many times have you thought the term cookie or treat and have your pets come running? You didn't say a word, not a word, different time of day. You just thought it. And they were there. We'll talk about that later. Also coming up. Believe me, guys, I have trained thousands of dogs and worked with tens of thousands of pet guardians just like you. And I understand it. A dog's behavior is often frustrating and makes absolutely no sense to humans. It's difficult to understand why your dog chewed your shoes or even peed on your bed. Today, let's look at it from the dog's point of view. I think you'll have a whole new perspective. Also coming up, as always, plenty of time for your questions and comments. Lots of great stuff to give away. So if your pet is jumping, chewing, scratching, confused about the litter box, maybe that beautiful dog you just rescued, bless you for doing that, is not housebroken. Maybe the two dogs you adopted aren't getting along perfectly, or your dog believes if he sees it, he must hump it. Give me a call. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. And the question of the day is, do you communicate with your pets non-verbally? Do you communicate with your pets non-verbally? All I have to do with Molly and Willie is think, car ride, and they're there. Great time to give me a call. Plenty of time because, hey, Alex, I forgot to take my screen. So you know what I see here? I see the names and I see the cities, but I have no idea what these people are calling about. So it's going to be one of those shows where it's Stump Warren because I see your name. I see Louise. I see Jason. I see Linda. I see San Clemente. I see Glendora. I see LA, but I have no idea what your question it is. Now, that's what I call bravery or stupidity, one of the two. 866-870-KRLA. Again, if you want to check out YouTube, not the greatest picture today, but check it out, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. And by the way, we are literally growing in leaps and bounds. They are sharing a lot of stuff. If you're not subscribing, there's no reason. It's absolutely free, and I do share a tremendous amount of information there. Some are just 1-minute tips, some are longer, great videos. Just go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein and subscribe. I think you'll enjoy it, and more importantly, you'll learn a lot more about your dogs and cats. So here's the deal. The phones are getting absolutely full, as they always do. Alex, help me out. This is going to be a tough one. I have no idea what these people are going to ask me. They could ask me about cars. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to go to my friend Louise in Los Angeles. Hey, Louise, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hello.
Hi, Louise. How are you?
Hi. Okay. I don't know what's going on with the phone. Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely. Just like you're right on top of me. What can I do for you?
All right. And thank you so much for helping people help their pets.
Thank
You're
you.
fabulous. Quickly, last weekend I could not get through to you, but you were speaking about whether or not animals remember, whether they have a memory. So many years ago, about 9 years ago, I rescued a little dog. I went through hell and high water with this little guy. And after I had him about 5 weeks or so, it miraculously found a wonderful couple for him. As the years went by, he would come to visit. We have an annual visit from when he was adopted. But one day, I was at my vet with my dog, who was hiding underneath the bench outside, and a little dog kept trying to jump on my lap. Well, lo and behold, it was the little guy.
Oh, wow. What a
And
great
his
story.
name was Oscar, and I knew I'd never get one. But anyway, there's my story. Did you hear me?
Oh, absolutely. What a great story. A lot of people assume that animals don't have great memories. A lot of times they learn through the associative memory. But let me give you a real quick story. And I'm going to get to everyone's call there. If I have to blow off my topic, so be it. The bottom line is many years ago, I rescued a goose. Yeah, I rescued a goose. It was shot. Some moron shot the goose with a bow and arrow. I rescued the goose. I took the goose to a major animal shelter called Popcorn Park in somewhere in I think it was in southern New Jersey, right on the Pennsylvania border. And when I brought the goose there, they named the goose Warren. I thought that was really nice. So they took him to medical. They healed up months later. He was fine. About a year and a half later, I went down to Popcorn Park again. I went down there for some other work that I was doing. And the bottom line is I approached Warren the goose, and Warren the goose goosed me. He remembered me, no doubt in my mind. He knew exactly who I was. And it was almost like, how can I describe it? I'm a little eccentric, some people say. I believe the goose smiled when he saw me. Hey, Warren, welcome back. Thank you. You say, I really believe they remember. Absolutely right. Anyway, what a great story, Louise. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put you on hold, Louise, and I am going to send you a T-shirt that says none of my friends walk upright because, quite honestly, none of mine don't, of course, except for Alex and Suzette. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. We're going to get to, we got Jason, we got Jerry, we got Paul, we got Linda calling. We'll get to all your calls, I promise. I know I wasn't on last week. It's very rare that I take a week off, so don't yell at me, all right? I had to move. I had things to do. By the way, I don't know I missed the rain. Now, if you think I am not a bright person, I left 2 days before the rains came back. I had the first round, but I missed the second round of the rains, and it's pretty dry where I am at the moment, but you'll laugh at me when it reaches 110 degrees, I'm sure. 866-870-KRLA. Let me take a quick break, then we'll get back to all of your calls here on The Pet Show. I'm so glad to be back with you. And by the way, I'm in this new studio, broadcasting actually from my home, and by next week, hopefully we'll have the lighting a little bit better, and I don't know, that picture, I have no idea. Alex, do you know what that picture is behind me? Is that I grew up in New York City. Maybe that's New York City. I don't know. Next week it'll be animal pictures, I promise. Anyway, speaking about animals and speaking about great people, let me tell about my friends over at Lucy Pet Food. My good friend Joey Herrick. What an incredible company. Too much monkey business. Not here on the Pet Show, but maybe in other places. Hey, we're back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Broadcasting from a new location today, so bear with me. But great time to give me a call. I got some great stuff to give away. I got copies of my best-selling books, How to Get Your Dog, How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. I got some Lucy pet food to give away, kitty lickies to give away, T-shirts to give away, lots of great stuff. So if you have a question or comment or just want to share a great story, the question of the day, by the way, is, do you communicate with your pets non-verbally? You know, I'm joking partially, but I'm really not joking. If you think that you're going to take your dogs for a walk, do they know it? If you think that you're going to give your cats a treat, do they know it? Do they really understand things before you even say them just by you thinking them? Are dogs a little and cats a little? Do they have psychic powers? What do you think? Or is it just something else? I'd love to hear from you about that because it's something that's been, I've been talking about for years and years. Some people swear that, dogs are telepathic and other people say that cats are telepathic. What do you think? I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call. The phone number here, 866-870. KRLA 866-870-5752. Just before you get to you, Linda, Jerry, and Paul, here's something I wrote the other day. I get a lot of questions about people ask me about, I want to hire a dog trainer. What should I look for? What's the proper way to train dogs? Now, I'm not training dogs at this point in my life, having trained literally God knows how many tens of thousands and loved every minute of it. But there are some amazing trainers out there. There really are. But there are also some trainers out there that suck. The best way for me to put it. Here's the bottom line. I want you to listen to me carefully. This is important information I just want to share with you. It'll take me a minute. A dog trainer should do everything in his power or her power possible to set a dog up for success. Let me say that again. A dog trainer should do everything possible to set a dog up for success, meaning they never intentionally put a dog in a situation that will cause an unwanted behavior, such as getting the dog to jump on them so they can stop it. Not the way to go. I know that sounds contrary to a lot of people, but a lot of trainers out there will provoke the dog to react so that they can correct. A good dog trainer will do everything possible to get a dog up and set him up for success, meaning they never intentionally put a dog in a situation that will cause an unwanted behavior. A little tip there that I think a lot of people need to have. Let me go right to my friend Linda calling from San Clemente. Hey, Linda, welcome to the Pet Show.
Oh, hi, Warren. How are you?
I am doing better than I'm back on the air with you guys today. How can I help you?
Glad to hear. So we have a daughter that is taking care of her sister's dog, and she's a 4-year-old, kind of a terrier mix.
A blended breed. She's a blended breed. That's the term, blended.
Yes, she is. Yes. She is pooping and peeing everywhere. No matter that they take her out, it's constant, and it's to the point that they cannot keep her any longer.
Wait a second. When you take a living thing in your house, and the biggest problem is they're peeing and pooping, getting rid of the dog is not the thing to do. And let me explain to you why, and then I'll tell you how to resolve it, okay? Let me get tough with you first, then I'll get nice with you. This dog is not housebroken, obviously. He's peeing and pooping in the house. So they get rid of the dog. They take the dog to a shelter. They find another home for the dog, whatever they do. And when they find another home for the dog is still going to be peeing and pooping in the new home because it was never resolved in the first home. So the second home's now going to get rid of the dog. And then you know what you're going to do? You're going to go see this dog at a funeral when they kill him.
No, she's not looking to just put the dog down or take it.
No, but she may not. Listen to me. She may not be. So she finds another home for the dog. You think the other home's going to put up with she's not putting up with the other dog peeing and pooping all over their house?
Correct.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. Let's resolve it, okay? First of all, if the dog is healthy and there's no reason that the dog is peeing and pooping in the house physiologically, there is a behavioral way to resolve it. Very simply. Number one, confine or watch, no in between. What we do is when we can't watch the dog with a hawk eye, we confine the dog. Some people use a crate. I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather gate the dog out. That's number one. How old did you say the dog was?
She's 4, and she's physiologically great shape.
Okay, so that's good. So that makes my job easy. I don't have to worry about the physical and all the head end. That's my part. So what we're going to do is confine the dog or watch the dog, no in between. So if they're going out or they're taking a shower, the dog is confined. Usually I confine in the kitchen because if the dog does have accidents, you can gate them off there. It's easy to clean up. That's number one. Number two, what we need to do is find all the places in the house where the dog has previously peed or pooped. How do you do that? You go to a lighting store, a pet store, you get a black light. You get the black light at night. You'll see all the spots. You clean it up with a good stain and odor neutralizer. That's also important. Then what you do is you spend more time with the dog, specifically in the areas where the accidents occurred, and you set up a specific routine. So you say, in the morning when I get up, I walk the dog. Then I take the dog for a quick walk before I go to work. When I come home from work, I take the dog for a walk. And before I go to sleep, I take the dog for a walk. Bottom line is, there isn't a dog in America or anywhere in the world that cannot be housebroken in 12 to 15 days, provided the guardians focus on getting the problem done. So I know I sound a little hard on you, but listen, I spent years and years at shelters looking at dogs that were going to be euthanized because the owners or the guardians never took the time to resolve similar issues, whether it be chewing, housebreaking, jumping, barking, digging. All of those can be resolved. All of those can be resolved. So when a dog goes from one home to another home, or a cat goes from one home to another home, anyone involved with rescue will tell you that ultimately that dog's going to wind up in a not good place. And so I really wish that they would work on that. I mean, there's some great articles on it. They can go to my website. I'll send you a copy of the book if they want to work on it. If they find the perfect home for the dog, I'm okay with that, provided that person knows exactly what's going on. You can give them a copy of the book I'm going to send you. Let them call me. Let's resolve that problem. But this dog should have a happy, normal life. It's a healthy, happy 4-year-old dog that's peeing and pooping. No need for this dog to go through the trauma it ultimately will go through when we can spend some time and resolve the problem. I know I dragged on a little bit. I droned on a little bit, but it really is important for me.
I appreciate it. They've treated her like just a queen, and it's just started maybe from the rain. We don't know, but she has an amazing life there. But it's just gotten to that point. Every board, everything is just soiled.
Yeah, no, I know. Listen, I totally understand that. But, there's a rule in my house that says when it comes in and it kisses me and it pees, it's there for life. If it has a problem physically or psychologically or behaviorally or medically, I'm going to take care of it. So if they want, I'm going to send you a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. If they find another home, have that person call me. My goal is to make sure that this dog has a healthy, happy life and doesn't wind up in a horrible situation based on something that could easily be resolved.
Right. Really, really quick, my husband's asking. I think it's rhetorical, but we want to make sure, can a 4-year-old dog still be trained?
Of course they can be trained. I've trained dogs 13, 14, 16, 15 years old. Come on. How old are you? How old are you?
63.
If you read a book, do you still learn?
Yes.
There you go. That's my answer.
I mean, I knew it, but I had to ask for him.
You blame it on your husband. Anyway, don't go in. I'm going to put you on hold. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up. We're going to send you a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. And if I sounded a little tough, I really didn't mean to, but, the guys are going to make me cry now. The thousands of dogs that I've seen killed at shelters all across this country, the thousands, I'm not talking about hundreds, I'm talking about thousands, that could have been helped, that could have been resolved, that had no need to be euthanized or killed when the issues they had could have been resolved because people either put them off or didn't understand it or listened to a neighbor and said, you got to get rid of the dog. Way too many dogs crossing the Rainbow Bridge and cats crossing the Rainbow Bridge that had no reason or no need to do so. Let me take a quick break. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Great time to call me. We'll get to all your calls, I promise. A quick break, then right back at you. Listen, Nature Vet launched a And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein, broadcasting today from beautiful, warm Arizona. Get right to your phones. Jerry, you'll be up next. We got Paul and we got Madeline. Great time to call me, though. I do have a line open or two, which is pretty rare. I got some great stuff to give away. Hugs and Kisses is back. Kitty Lickies, copies of my books, Lucy Pet Food T-shirts. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA. Even if you just want to answer the question of the day, which I'm just going to add to now. The first question of the day was, do you communicate with your pets non-verbally? If you just think about something, will your dog or cat react to that? I'd love to hear from you. Think about food, see if your dog or cat comes coming. Now, I had an interesting conversation this week, and someone absolutely called me, I'm not going to say what they called me, but they said, Warren, I've lost it. So, here was the question that came up. Seriously, Warren, you can't think this is possible, can you? Do cats have a sense of humor? While there's no science, this is my response. While there is positively no scientific evidence confirming cats have a sense of humor, the way they play, their antics, their behavior suggests that they may indeed possess a comedic side. Their humor, described as dry and mischievous, adds to their adorable charm, and we find it irresistible. I say cats have a sense of humor. Okay, I said it. I believe it. And I buy it. Anybody else out there? Am I nuts? Do you think your cat has a sense of humor? Do they make you laugh? They're not doing stand-up comedy. I get it. But they do things that are kind of funny, and it's almost like they know it. They know if they knock that thing off the table, you're going to get mad at first, but then you're going to laugh. So do cats have a sense of humor? Let me toss that at you guys as well. Let me take another call right now. Let me go to Jerry in Costa Mesa. Hey, Jerry, how you doing?
Yes.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? What can
I
do?
have a 3-year-old cat that we think that she might be part Russian Gray. She's a gray kitty.
Okay.
And at the beginning of this winter, she started licking her tummy, and it looks like now that she has got a lot less hair on her stomach. And she's also got, I had a friend come in the other day and said, is your kitty pregnant? And I looked down and she's got like a little sack on about halfway down her tummy.
Yeah, Jerry, this is a little bit above my pay grade. First of all, how old is the cat?
She's 3 years old.
I think it would be a great idea at this point to see a vet. The young cat could be something very minor, could be something that they can take care of right away. But this is something that visually a veterinarian should take a look at, and especially with a young cat like this, it's probably something that can be resolved not expensively and relatively easy at this point.
Okay.
But in the meantime, what's your cat's name?
Frankie.
Frank, see, people that give their cats human names accept their pets as part of the family, and Frankie is part of your family. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you on hold, and you may have to wait for these. I don't know if they're back in stock because my listeners love them. Well, their cats do anyway, and we're going to send you some kitty lickies for Frankie, and Frankie's going to love her kitty lickies, I promise. I'm going to go to Paul. I don't know what I can say. Hey, Paul, welcome back. What can I know you still haven't found your cat.
No, blessings to you that you moved. In a way, I kind of envy you, and I know it was hard for you. But anyway, my life is very complicated. I have my long-term girlfriend is in a permanent care center with congestive heart failure, and
yeah, I know.
So
we had talked about that, and the cat. So, what's the update on the cat, Paul?
There is no update. I'm just, I think I have to find some. I hear stories about people's cats that came back after 4 months and 6 months, but I don't know how to find out. I'm very tired. I'm going to be 79 in 2 months, and I'm tired, don't have any help, and I don't know how to find out if the cat is dead or alive.
Let me ask you a question. Did the cat have a microchip on it?
No, nothing. It just it was a Russian roulette. It just came and went. I had it for 4 years.
Yeah, I wish my heart breaks for you because I know you want answers, but that's one of the reasons I'm such a firm believer in microchipping. I wish I had.
Right, I know.
I wish I had a great answer for you, Paul. My heart breaks for you. I know. Listen, when things happen, they always happen at the same time. Between your girlfriend, the problem, and your situation, and you being overly tired, I got it all. What I would do, literally, If I were in your, and I can only answer the question as if I were you, I would be calling all of the local shelters at this point. I would be calling, see if animal control picked up a cat that alive or dead from the streets, and I would just call them every day. And the reason I say that, very often the people that work at some of these rescues are volunteers. So who you spoke to on Thursday is not going to be there on Friday, and they won't be there on Monday. So I would really become a pain in the butt, and I would call them every couple of days just to kind of say, has anyone brought in this type of looking cat, either alive or dead?
Well, I'm going to visit one of the shelters.
Better.
It's not too far from me. I live in Van Nuys, and it's not too far. So
yeah, I would go to the shelter, but I would listen. I would also call them. Cats can wander for miles and miles and miles. But I got to move on, Paul. But let me just put you at ease a little bit, okay? Cats will sometimes find their way home. You said 4 or 5 months later. I'll tell you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years later. So there's always hope. I think I suggested this to you before, that you let the local postal workers, the UPS drivers, the Prime drivers. These are great guys. I mean, they know the neighborhoods as good as anybody. They know every nook and cranny, and maybe they would have some insight in helping you. My heart breaks for you. I know what it's like, but don't give up the hope. The more hope you have, I believe that hope has a way of making things happen very often. So my thoughts and my prayers are with you for sure. Hey, great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. You know what? Let's go to Madeline. Hey, Madeline, welcome to the show.
Hi. Hi, Brian.
Warren. It's not Brian, it's Warren. But that's okay. You can call me anything. You can call me anything.
Yeah, I haven't spoken yet today. So, yes, I'm calling Warren because I feed my dog a certain dog food that has bone, has everything in it. It says humanely raised. It's got vitamins, minerals, amino acids. And I'm wondering, do I need a supplement of vitamins on top of that, or should that be enough?
Okay, first of all, there's a lot of dog foods that say a lot of things. I'm not going to ask you what brand. I just saw a dog food on TV the other day that said if you feed this to your dog will live to be 19 years old, even if it's an Irish Wolfhound, which average lifespan is between 9 and 10. So there's a lot of nonsense out there. In terms of supplementation, yeah. You know, I have my Hugs and Kisses supplements, and the reason I put the supplements together is having worked with the top veterinarians pretty much around the world, we know that you can have the greatest diet in the world. I mean, literally, you can eat kelp diet every day. You can have the greatest diet. However, if for some reason those vitamins and minerals are not being absorbed properly, what's the point? You eat them and you poop them out. So the bottom line is it's no different with our pets. So even though you're feeding, I'd rather see you feeding Lucy pet food, but even though you're feeding what you consider a good quality dog food on the market, supplementation would be important. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put you on hold, Madeline, and I am going to send you a jar of my own Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats. I just wish people would spend a lot more time researching the foods that they feed their pets. And, you know, Lucy Pet Food's a sponsor on the show. You all know that. But I was feeding Lucy Pet Food before they became a sponsor on the show. And there's a reason for it. You know how much I believe in them. I'm going to do a commercial for them in a few minutes anyway. So the bottom line is this is the company that I believe in. I have no affiliation with Lucy Pet Food other than the fact I love them and I endorse them and I recommend them. I have no other affiliation with them. I love them and recommend them and endorse them because they are that good and the company is that passionate. So my recommendation is Lucy Pet Food. However, with any pet food, supplementation is always important. I take supplementation, and I eat a pretty good diet. So the question came up. Can cats have a sense of humor? That's one question. And do you no one's going to admit that they communicate with their dog or cat by not talking to them? You don't think your dog or cat knows what you're thinking? You have no idea? You think that everything has to be said? I don't know. So if you think your dog or cat understands you, sometimes telepathically, I want to hear from you, I'll send you a great gift. Or if you think that your cat has a sense of humor, I think they do. I specifically think they jump on top of tables and knock things over, and then they go off on their own and just have a good old laugh about you. That's what I think. But then again, that's me. Great time to give me a call. Do have an open line. Pretty rare. 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Let me take a quick break. Then I'll get back to Stacy and Cynthia, and we'll get back to Madeline as well. All right, here's And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. That phone number, 866-870-5752. I'm going to get to all your calls. I promise. We got Cynthia, Madeline, we got Stacy, we got Anna, we got Maurice. Before I do that, though, I wanted to spend just a minute or two here, and just bear with me on this because this is important to me. You know, believe me, I know, having trained literally thousands and thousands of dogs and worked with tens of thousands of pet guardians just like you, a dog's behavior is often frustrating and makes absolutely no sense to humans. It's difficult to understand why your dog chewed your favorite shoes or peed on your pillow. However, let's take a moment and just look at it from the dog's point of view. People get mad when the dog is constantly sniffing at them. A dog's nose is a dog's eye. So when they're sniffing your crotch, when they're sniffing your feet, I know it's embarrassing, but that is what they're doing. They're looking with their nose. They have something called the Jacobson's organ. That's important. Now also, jumping up. Why do dogs jump up? They jump up because facial contact and facial expression is critical. And that eye contact is critical. They can tell a lot by the eye. So very often the reason a dog jumps up is because people don't spend enough time down. And what about the humping dog? I get this all the time. Warren, my dog is humping. He drives me crazy. I hate him. He humps and humps and humps. Well, first of all, don't feel flattered. Your leg is not that attractive, and your dog is not humping your leg for that reason. Humping generally is a sign of dominance. When your dog rolls on his back, yeah, he may want his belly rubbed, but it also may be suspicious as well. And when your dog is chewing things and you get angry, chewing really calms your dog down at the same time. So believe me, very often, when people get upset or angry at a behavior that their dog, or in some cases their cats, are doing, take a moment and try to look at it from the dog's point of view. That's my biggest complaint with some trainers and behaviorists out there. What they try to do is resolve the issue before they take the time to figure out what caused the issue in the first place. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let's go to Westlake Village and Stacy. Hi, Stacy. How are you?
Hi, Warren. I know that cats have a sense of humor.
And how do you know that?
One day I was sitting at the kitchen table with my sister, and her cat was sitting on the table. And the cat put its paw in the glass of water. My sister went, "Spuddy," and the cat smiled.
See, that's why I do this show, because you people make me feel normal. That's the only way I can say it. Listen, there's no doubt in my mind that animals have a sense of humor. But when I say that, when I was asked about that, people literally thought that I was nuts. But look, you're all pet guardians. My listeners all are animal lovers. And Stacy, do you have any pets of your own?
Yes, I have a cat.
And your
Rescue.
cat's name? Your cat's name is?
My cat's name is Oreo, because he looks like one.
Just a wild guess on mine, but he's black and white.
You're exactly.
I am psychic. I am psychic. I knew. So in other words, so do you think that Oreo, besides being funny, have a sense of humor? Does Oreo sometimes know what you're thinking before you say anything?
That I'm not so sure. My old cat, the one that passed away, I could tell by the expression in his eyes. But Oreo is one of those cats that has the eyes that just stare. I do have a question, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's first generation non-feral. His mom was feral, and my friend rescued his mom with the babies. And so sometimes if I stop petting him or if I brush him too much, he'll start attacking me. Like, he doesn't ever draw blood, but he'll bite down and grab me like I'm a mouse or something. Okay, so in other words, that's part of a survival instinct. But what you need to do is you need to be a much more cognizant observer. Cognizant, that's a big word for you, Warren. Cognizant observer. And by that I simply mean generally before a cat reacts, there's usually something. Mm-hmm. The pupils are going to dilate, the ears are going to go up, the tail's going to swagger back and forth, it's going to raise the tail. What you need to do is should you really, for the next couple of months, really be a good watcher, and before he has the opportunity, stop and walk away before he has the reaction to react, because every time he reacts, it's reinforced. If you consistently get away before the reaction, then the reaction will start to dissipate a little bit at a time.
Okay, I'll have to stop. Have to stop sooner. Although I can tell he can tell when I need to use the restroom. When I need to use the restroom, he'll come over and sniff my arm. He can like sniff it. So I don't know about the thinking, but he can tell when about physiological things.
Well, that's a little. I don't know why he knows that you have to go to the bathroom. I don't know why he knows that, but he knows it anyway. Listen, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm sending you a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. My cat knows when I have to go to well, maybe it's the way you move or the way you react. I don't know. Alex, do your cats know when you have to go to the John? No, Alex is being awful quiet. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. We're going to get to all your phone calls, I promise. We got a whole hour to go. We got Cynthia coming up. We got Madeline coming up with psychic. She thinks dogs are psychic. I love that. We got Maurice coming up also. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. But right now, this is the first, I want you to listen carefully, the first and only time There's no such thing as ugly dogs. Come on, don't even ugly. You know, I say this all the time. I coined this many, many years ago. I remember doing a TV show many years ago with Gene Rayburn. Remember Gene Rayburn, my buddy from the Match Game? Me and Gene were, what an incredible guy he was. He was kind of like my mentor for TV many years ago. And we talked about this, and I said, you know, Gene, I brought on a couple of dogs from a shelter that were just really, really, best way to describe them, pretty disheveled. They were just in horrible, horrible, horrible condition. And then basically what I did is I brought them on. I said, Gene, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a doggy makeover, and then we're going to find homes for these dogs. But before we do the doggy makeover, I explained to him that these dogs may look disheveled now, but the inside of these dogs are just as full of love and compassion when they look bad as when we groom them, and they're going to look good. So I try to encourage people when they're adopting a dog from a shelter or rescue, go past the physical. Please, go past the physical. You know, when you live with a dog or a cat for hopefully 12, 13, 14, 20 years with cats sometimes, you learn that the outside is not important at all. It's the heart. It's the soul. It's the inside. You fall in love with the inside of a pet, not the outside of a pet. Yeah, initially, oh, look at that cute dog. Look at that. Oh, what a cute beagle puppy. Yeah, they are cute and they are adorable. But don't let that be the only deciding factor, because let me tell you, when you fall in love with the inside of a dog or cat, they know it, and they will pay you back for the rest of their lives every day. Let me take a quick break for the top of the hour. Cynthia, Anna, Maurice, you'll be my first three callers. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein, and you're listening to The Pet Show.
Your pets. We tried to stumble, but we haven't
And if you love your dogs and cats and want to find out why they behave the way they do, why they may be jumping, humping, digging, cat's not using a litter box, doesn't get along with other cats, scratched your favorite chair, peed on your bed, the dog is humping everything in sight, pulls you down the block, get the idea. You're listening to The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. We've been talking to you guys for almost 44 years, helping you resolve any issues that you may be having with your dogs or cats, or more likely, any issues your dogs or cats may be having with you. A great time to give me a call. We are live. If you have a question or a comment about your dog or cat's behavior, just want to share a great story, the phone number 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-5752. Or if you just want to answer one of the questions of the day, I started with one question, but now we have two. The first question is, do your dogs and cats ever communicate with you without making any noise or sound? Do they kind of know what you're thinking? If you think cookie, treat, walk, car, daddy's home, just think it. Just think it. Do your dogs or cats understand that? Is there some kind of psychic relationship between you and your pets? I'd love to hear from you as well. Or the second question was kind of came up in an interview I had this week, and believe me, I do some strange interviews. They kind of laughed at me. Imagine they laughed at Warren because Warren said, yes, I believe that cats do, in fact, have a sense of humor. As a matter of fact, a lot funnier than many of the comedians I've been watching recently. 866-870-5752. 866-870-KRLA. That is the phone number. So as you know, I moved back to Arizona. I'll be spending a lot of time in LA as well, but I moved back to Arizona, not Sedona, a little south of Sedona. So I'm broadcasting from my home. So there's a lot of things that have to go on here. Alex and myself are working for about an hour this morning, getting the lighting right. I had it right, but Alex blew it. We really worked on it together, but I promise you, for those people watching on YouTube, it'll be a lot better, a lot clearer next week. I'm still trying to figure out what that picture behind me is if you're watching on YouTube. It kind of looks like the New York City skyline, which no one knows better than me, but I don't know. It's kind of, but I promise you, there'll be better lighting and different pictures up there. It's very hard to do a YouTube with a flashlight. All right, the phones are jamming. I'm going to get to as many calls as I possibly can. I also want to answer the question, if you notice that after your dog poops, yeah, this is the stuff I keep up. If your dog poops afterwards, why does it look like he's a football player and just made the final touchdown of the Super Bowl and dances around like crazy? Why the dance of the poop? We'll talk about that in a little while. But right now, let me get right back to the phone lines. I believe Cynthia thinks that her cat has a sense of humor. Hey, Cynthia, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I am doing super. Is it still raining in Los Angeles?
Well, I'm in Ventura County. It's not raining now. Beautiful blue skies.
It's always beautiful in that Oxnard, Ventura County area. And my favorite restaurant when I used to ride my Harley, Neptune's Net, right on the border there.
Absolutely. My husband and I have a Harley. We ride it too.
There you go. And yeah, on a Sunday, the hardest part on Sunday is find parking at Neptune's Net.
Right, right. Well, I'm proudly owned by my cat and dog, not the other way around. They totally have me wrapped around their fingers. And by the way, they've been eating Lucy's pet food for years. It was highly recommended by Teresa's Pet Store in Simi Valley.
Yeah, I just did a remote from Teresa's Pet Store at their new location in Tarzana.
Oh, wow. Fabulous. Super knowledgeable people.
They are very good. So, cats and humor.
Oh, my God, yeah. Aside from the fact that my cat loves to play hide-and-go-seek with me, when I take a bath in the morning, she likes to splash me. And she thinks she's funny. And then she doesn't meow like a normal cat. She's a Maine Coon, and she kind of gives off a little mirt. And then she jumps off the tub and runs away. And she thinks she's funny. She does it every morning. So
let me ask you the question then. You don't mind being butt naked in front of your cat?
No.
I can't...
Cat, she walks with me when I go to the bathroom. When I'm sleeping, 5:30 every morning, she jumps on my chest and starts playing with my lashes to say, hello, can you get up and feed me? She's a hoot.
Cynthia, you know how much I love animals. You know, animals have been my whole life. You know, I live, I breathe, I wake up, I go to sleep since I was born with animals. Much better than people, right? But you know what?
Oh,
I will never.
Animals, I like people less.
I will never God, the psychologists are going to have a great one with this one. I don't get undressed in front of my dogs.
Really?
I won't shower in front of my dogs. I don't get undressed in front of my dogs. I know. Listen, no. Ask my wife. There's a lot of psychological issues with Warren, but that's one of the big ones. And I admire people that can, but you know what? There's just I just can't do it. I don't know.
My cat and dog don't understand privacy. They both get on great.
Maybe you know what? Maybe I just don't want to be judged by my dogs. Who knows? That could be the reason.
Right.
Anyway, Cynthia, what I'm going to do is you give that cat a big. I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you some hugs and kisses for your cat. Yeah, that was a question. I think I asked that question a couple of years ago, and people said, "Yeah, we have no problem. We take a shower in front of our dogs. We use the bathroom in front of them." Not me. And you know what? There's not. I'll eat off the same plate with my dogs. I mean, we'll eat off the whatever. I'll drink out of the same water bowl. I have no problem with that. Yeah, but they're not going to see me naked. That's just the way it is. Let me take another phone call right now. Let's go to Silmar and Anna. Hi, Anna. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi. I just want to give hope to people that lose their cats because they let them go out, which I've never done. I found a full white kitty with a bi-eye, yellow and blue eye, and I brought him home to put up posters. I told my son, and he goes, "Are you crazy? If he was running on Sherman Way with just a flea collar, we have to keep him to give him a safe home." And he lived 15 years, our first cat. And so somebody could have adopted his cat, the man that called earlier, and he's going to have a safe, life at home without escaping.
And I adore you, Anna. You know, some people look at the glass as half empty. Some people look at the glass as half full. And what an incredible... Right. And you're absolutely right. So many hundreds, if not thousands of cats that have gotten lost, or even dogs that have gotten lost, are in fact found and do wind up successfully many times in other homes. So keeping the hope is really what a great call. What a positive call. I love your positive attitude as well. But it's also let me just remind everyone that I'm a big fan, a proponent of keeping cats inside. That's number one. And number two, please microchip your pets. Please microchip your pets. But you're absolutely right. There are some amazing people. I would say that the majority of pets that have lived with me for early on in my life were either strays or found with no identification, and I guess they found the vacancy sign in front of my house and they moved in and just never moved out. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. What a great call, by the way. Well, I'm trying to think. You know what? I'm going to put you on hold, Anna, and I am going to send you a T-shirt that says "None of my friends woke up right," because I kind of got the feeling that's what you believe. Isn't that a great call? Just encouraging. I mean, literally, I just read a story this week on one of the streaming news things on pets I get, specifically talking about the concept of someone who found whose cat was reunited with them several years, I don't remember the number, but several years later down the road. 866-870-KRLA, that is the phone number. Let's go to Maurice. Then we got Karen, we got Roz, we got an open line. Great time to call me, but right now it's Maurice in Carson. Hey Maurice, welcome to the show.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely, Maurice. What's up?
Hi. Regarding the gentleman who doesn't know whether cats have senses of humor, there is a video on YouTube of a dog that's sleeping on a couch, and his rear paws are kind of hanging off the edge of the cushion there, and the cat kind of sneaks over, reaches up, and slaps the dog's paw, and then hurries up and crunches right down in front of the couch real quick, and the dog lifts his head up and looks around and doesn't see anybody. The cat obviously knew what he was doing. So if I can find that video, I'll send it to you. But it's on YouTube.
Listen, there's no doubt in my mind that there are that our dogs and our cats make fun of us. I really do believe that. I mean, there are times, there's no doubt in my mind that Molly and Willie look at me and say, "That Warren, man."
The cat was obviously doing exactly what he wanted to do, because he hurried up and he scrunched down real close to the couch so the dog wouldn't see him.
I'm telling you, and they do. And there are people out there that say we're bull crazy and they don't do it on purpose. But believe me, they know what they're doing. Hey, so what type of pets do you have, Maurice?
I currently don't have any, Warren. I've had cats and dogs, though, but at the present time, I don't.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you will soon.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
So yeah, don't go. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I can barely hear you.
Can I talk? You hear me now?
Yeah, you're a little better.
I feel like that commercial on TV. Can you hear me now? Anyway, Maurice, don't go anywhere. I love your comments. I'm going to put you on hold. Send me that video if you can find it. I'm going to send you a T-shirt that says "None of my friends woke up right." By the way, those T-shirts are now back in stock at my website, thepetshow.com. Don't ask me how much they are. I think they're like $14, maybe $15, and then the money goes to the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, which, by the way, if you're not supporting my Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, do you know we've now donated to every single state in America and many in Canada, helping those small mom and pop organizations that would never be able to do the amazing work they do. And believe me, they do amazing work. If you want to know more about my own non-for-profit 501c3 Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, check out hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. And every penny you donate, every single penny you donate goes directly to the animals. There's no salaries. There's no expenses. I cover the expenses myself. So check out hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. And whatever help you can give, I would be much appreciative. Phone number here, by the way, 866-870-KRLA. Hey, Alex, do I see a little kind of disheveled today? You don't know what disheveled is? New studio? No, do I seem a little disheveled today? New studio? Thank you. I needed somebody to say, no, you're doing fine, Warren. And Alex, of course you seem disheveled. That's the people I work with. I love them. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. He said I look fantastic. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me do this. Let me take a break. When we come back, Karen, I want to resolve your barking problem. Not your barking problem, but your dog's barking problem. I want to go to Roz. We'll get to you in Woodland Hills as well. Do have an open line or two. It's pretty rare. If you have a question or a comment, or if you believe that dogs or cats have a sense of humor, I want to hear from you as well. Or how many people believe that maybe their dog or cat understands sometimes what they're thinking before they say a word? I mean, do you think about, if I think right now, if I were to think, hey, I'm going to take the dogs for a car ride. If I don't say a word and just think it, Molly and Willie would be right there staring at my car keys. What about you? I'd love to hear from you. Do your dogs and cats communicate with you even if you're not saying anything? Or do you believe pets have a sense of humor? Give me a call. Let me know. I will send you a super gift. No, I won't send it to you, but I'll send it to your dog or cat. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. A quick break, then we'll get right back to your calls. I promise. I want to, why do I about number 2. I always wanted to say that. We'll get right to you, Jason, Karen, and Roz. I want you to listen to me carefully. You know, we talked a little bit, I was joking earlier about when your dog eliminates outside and poops, generally afterwards they do like a little bit of a, what I call the duty dance. And basically it looks like a football player scoring a touchdown. Why do they do that? Let me explain to you why. I wrote this down this week for an article I'm putting on my YouTube. And by the way, if you're not with me on YouTube, check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. I'm telling you, that channel is going to explode any day now. It's already starting to really move. I'm doing a lot of work there. youtube.com/Warren Eckstein and subscribe. But right now, I wrote this and let me share it with you. A dog's paws have sweat glands and/or sebaceous glands in between their toes. In addition, such glands also release pheromones, so the act of a dog scratching the ground and emitting these substances in the soil further spreads them by way of kicking their back legs. Let other dogs know that they are there. In fact, when a dog kicks their back legs after scratching the ground, they leave a mark on other animals that they have been there. So when your dog eliminates, they kick the scent around, one of two reasons. It could be either that they're claiming more territory, or sometimes they'll kick it around and spread it out further because they don't want the other dogs to know where they are. Amazing animals. So the next time your dog dances around, you don't have to play music. He's just doing it to let the other dogs know that he was there. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Let's go to my friend Karen in Santa Ana. Hi, Karen. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing
Sharon,
great.
not Karen.
Oh, it's Sharon. Okay, Sharon. Well, how are you, Sharon?
That's all right. No problem.
What's up?
I'm calling about my dog. I've got a mini Aussie. He's very smart. He's so smart. I have 2 cats. And if I tell him that I have to feed the kitties, he goes and gets in his kennel because he knows he can't be out when I'm feeding him moist food. That's how smart he is. But he started this barking. And like I just got back from the park, I tell him we're going to go to the park, and he starts barking. My granddaughter comes over, she walks in the door, and he barks at her. And it's just something he started recently, and I can't get him to stop.
How old is he?
He's 4. He'll be 5 on March 3rd.
So let me ask you the really important question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Your granddaughter comes over. What's your dog's name?
Quinn.
Quinn. Obviously Irish couple. Your dog starts to bark, your little Aussie, which, by the way, I'm very familiar with the breed. I gave the first Australian Shepherd its obedience title in America in the 70s.
Yeah, he's very smart, but he walks really well off leash, and he's very nervous, though. He's a very nervous dog.
Here's my question to you. So your granddaughter comes in, and Quinn starts to bark. How long does he bark for? An hour? 45 minutes? 5 minutes?
Oh, no. He stops after, let's say 5 minutes.
Then what are you worried about?
Well,
that's what a dog does. Listen, you're excited to see your granddaughter. Does Quinn tell you to knock it off? Don't pick her up. Don't give her a hug. Don't give her a kiss.
Well, so it's just excitement.
Yeah,
like when I say we're going to the park, or
exactly.
We're going to go get a tea or whatever.
Exactly. If it was a big problem for you, and then you can use some type of distraction therapy, and we can. But let me tell you, and this I kind of get a little heat from other people. Oh, you got to stop the dog. No, the dog's barking. He's excited to see your granddaughter. He's excited to go to the park. He's barking for 5 minutes. He's not like doing a marathon bark, which is the problem. I work with dogs that bark 12, 14 hours a day. That's the problem.
I even try to bark collar, but I hate to put it on.
No, and throw it. He's not doing it. It's like correcting a child for getting an A in school. And being excited about it. Okay. And I'll give you a prime example. Listen, I just moved into a new location, right? And my Molly and Willie, and behind me, there's kind of like a walkway. And it's, a lot of people walk their dogs. There's thousands of dogs where I moved. And obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have moved here.
I heard you moved 200 boxes. Yeah.
Yeah. And Molly and Willie, they see the other dogs, and they're a little barky. And I don't want to become, oh man, here's that new neighbor. Here's that guy that moved from L.A. and the new neighbor with his barking dog. So what I could do is I can go out there, and what a lot of trainers would do is they tell the dog, no, shake a can, squirt the dog with water. I went out there, I sat down on the ground with Molly and Willie, and I explained to them, listen guys, here's the deal. This is a new location. I'm as anxious as you are. I got to get used to the people. You got to get used to the dogs. We'll all get used to this together. So if you want to bark for a couple of minutes, go ahead. But then after that, let's go inside and watch Seinfeld. So that's what I do. In other words, because sometimes by correcting, you're actually reinforcing a behavior rather than resolving.
I worried about that. I started using. He's eating your Lucy pet food too, by the way.
Well, first of all, Lucy pet food is the greatest food in the world, but I wish it was mine.
Right.
But it's not. It's not mine, but it's a great. Absolutely.
No, I know, but you recognize.
Listen. I might as well. I mean, the relationship I have with Joey Herrick and the Lucy Company, it's separate. They're totally separate from anything I do. But the bottom line is, there's so much respect that I have for someone like Joey. He didn't have to, but he put Lucy together because his main concern was keeping animals healthy and happy. By the way, it's named Lucy Pet because that was the name of his dog, Lucy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
See, that's how compassionate the guy is. Anyway, Sharon, what I am going to do is I am going to put you on hold, and because your dog is such a big fan, I am going to send you some Lucy pet food for your dog, and I do appreciate that phone call. We're going to get to you, Jason. We're going to get to you, Roz. By the way, I do have a couple of open lines. I know it's pretty rare. I wasn't here last week, but if you have a question or a comment, great time to give me a call. I really want to hear. I'm surprised. I thought more people would react to the fact that they thought that their cats either had a sense of humor, or even if they didn't want to come about a dog with a sense of humor. I think that's important for people to understand that, because sometimes the way they react, they might get angry when in fact it's dog just having a cat having a good time. And so that was one of the stories, and the other one was, and listen. I am always, when I was studying in Europe, I'm always been amazed. I have no psychic abilities whatsoever. I can barely have regular abilities, okay? But the bottom line is, I learned from people while I was there, and maybe it's the little bit of Romanian in me, a lot of Romanian in me, that I believe that there's something more than physical communication. I believe that I don't have it, but I believe that all living things have some form of psychic abilities. I believe that the sixth sense probably is inhibited in most people, but not in most pets. So very often people would say to me, Warren, who do you trust? Whenever there's a situation where my life had been in danger over the years, and I've talked about them before, guns at my head, whatever that point may be, it's that I've always relied on the dog. I always relied on the dog. And they always kind of let me know, Warren, maybe this is the time to go in a different direction, or not verbally, but just mentally, I knew that there's something that wasn't right. Anyway, that's part of it. Do you believe that our dogs and cats have some type of ability? When we come back, I'm going to get to some phone calls. When we come back, also, I'm going to share that with you, because I believe there's 4 basic powers that our pets may have, and I want to see if you agree or disagree. In the meantime, if it's a regular thing like your dog's peeing, humping, jumping, digging, scratching, barking, not using the litter box, doesn't like your new husband, great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break here, Jason. Roz, we'll get right back to you, okay? And here's an important thing. I really want to share this.
And we are back on The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Just a reminder to check out YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. You're going to see it growing by leaps and bounds. Hey, just before I get to your phone calls, in just a second, I came across a quote this week. I've seen it before, but it just, every once in a while you come across a quote that just kind of hits you in the heart and the soul and the tears. So let me just share it with you. And anyone who's ever lived with a dog, and I guess it applies to cats as well, but this quote specifically for dogs. They say owning a dog will bless you with the happiest days of your life and one of the worst. Let me say that again. Owning a dog will bless you with the happiest days of your life and one of the worst. It is so, so true. And I posted it on my Facebook page, and it's just amazing the response that people. It's true. It's the happiest day and the saddest day any pet guardian can remember. But you know what? It's worth every single minute of every single hour. All right, let me get back to the phone lines here. I'm going to go right to Roz in Woodland Hills, and then we have Jason in Santa Clarita. We got Todd in Camarillo. We got Edward in my hometown. Oh, look, I said hometown of Santa Monica, kind of my hometown. But right now, let me go to Roz in Woodland Hills. Hey, Roz, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I just have a really quick story,
Sure.
and I have a short question. So when I was a young kid, my best friend, Tiger, dog, and he was, multiracial. He had everything. He was just
He was a diverse breed. He was a diverse breed of dog.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, he was my best friend. And so anyways, my father had, traveled with the dog, somewhere, and I wasn't there. And the dog, when he was parked, jumped out of the car and got away. Well, when my father came home, he never wanted to tell me that that's what happened. So they made it they played it off like, oh, Tiger must have run away. So for the next several months, I'd say about 6, everywhere we went, I'd yell, Tiger, Tiger, out the car window, no matter where we went. About 8 months later, lo and behold, I opened the door to the house where I lived, and there was this animal there with all this cement all over it and just scraggly, and it was Tiger. And Tiger had found his way. And by the way, when Tiger found his way home, that's when my dad finally told me the story. And my father was about 100 miles away from our house. So the dog somehow managed to find his way home. So the moral to it is never give up when you do lose a pet, should you? And, you didn't chip them back in those days. This was a very long time ago. But, yeah, you should chip them. But never give up. And,
Roz, it's a great story. And one of the secrets of life is how do our dogs and cats find their way home from hundreds or even thousands of miles away, months or years later? And there's a lot of theories on it. One of the theories I remember sitting down at a guest house. I might have had one beer too many. This was many years ago in Germany. And I remember sitting down with a professor, and he was explaining to me in his studies, he believes that dogs have the incredible ability to astronomically know the positions of the stars. They stare at them, and they know them, and that's one way they can find their way home. So he says. There's another theory, and this is the theory I believe in. Now, believe me, I might as well be from Missouri, show me. But I believe that love between humans and animals is so strong and so positive that there's some special force that can often guide a dog or cat home just because of the incredible love they have. Now, I know that sounds, people saying, come on, Warren, please, what drugs are you taking? No, I'm not. Believe me. I heard this many, many times. And for those people that believe in the power of love, that love really does have a power, perhaps there's something to it in conjunction with instinctive behavior and looking at the stars and many, but I think that love, does that make any sense to anybody? It makes sense to you, Roz?
It does to me, yeah, absolutely. And then can I ask you a quick question?
Sure, absolutely.
So everybody's heard about our president's dog commander has this biting problem. From now, I hear the count is up to 25.
Yeah.
Well, I once had a basset hound, and he was a lovely dog. And when he got cancer, he got cancer in the brain, and it was the first time that he, did start biting people. I mean, at what point, as a professional in your field, if the dog's bitten 25 people and drawn blood, what do you say to that?
A lot depends on the circumstances. First of all, I would like to know what an 80-year-old man was doing with a puppy. That's the first thing I'd like to know. Number two is, why would a dog like that wasn't formally trained? See, if they were to hire me, which they're not going to, and I would not do it, the best way to stop a dog from biting is to teach the dog to bite in a controlled situation. Hear me out here. If you have a kid that's always getting into fights, he's always in fights at school, you take him, you teach him martial arts, you teach him karate, judo, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, whatever, and because now they learn to control that behavior and they use it in a positive way. Over the years, thousands or hundreds of dogs that I've worked with really aggressive behavior. I mean, I've taken dogs out of dogfighting rings. The bottom line is that what you can do with these dogs is absolutely amazing. However, very often the bites are actually not the dog's fault. It's simply a situation the dog might have been put in. There's not a dog that should have been living in the White House with that many people around, with nobody having any control whatsoever. And quite honestly, after the first bite took place, someone should have come in there and made some other changes. But the bottom line here is the dog is the victim here, not the people.
Yeah.
The dog is the victim here.
Yeah, I feel bad for the dog, too.
And I don't care if it was a Republican dog, a Democratic dog.
No,
it doesn't make any difference. I don't care who's dog. But the bottom line
agreed.
is that this dog did not belong in the White House. There were many dogs that live in the White House. I mean, listen, we had jackasses live in the White House. I mean, literally. We had an alligator. I think one of them, Garfield, had an alligator. Teddy Roosevelt. The Kennedys had all kinds of animals for their kids. But there was no problem. The problem is, I don't believe this dog was receiving the proper socialization, the proper exposure that a dog that's going to be with that many people. I'll give you a prime example. Look at the dogs at the airports now. These are all dogs that were professionally trained for protection purposes. They go up to kids, the military dogs and police dogs I train, they go up and they play with kids, they love kids, they're happy with kids, but yet, they can react. So that's the bottom line. I don't believe it's a dog problem. I believe it's a people problem. So what kind of dog do you have?
Now I have, I have a grand dog. It's my son and his girlfriend's dog, but she's my granddogger. Her name's Sculpin, and she is a little boxer. I mean, not a boxer. She's a little pit bull.
I love pit bulls.
She's black and white, and she's a sweetie, and I spoil her like any grandmother would.
All right, Grandma, do this. Listen, I got to move on, but I'm putting Grandma on hold. I want you to hang in there, give the lovely Suzette your name and address. I'm sending you a jar of my Hugs and Kisses vitamin, mineral, supplement treats for your pet. By the way, Amazon is now has my the Hugs and Kisses back. Amazon has Hugs and Kisses available. Walmart has Hugs and Kisses available. ThePetShow.com has Hugs and Kisses available. So there's no need, if you're looking for Hugs and Kisses for your dogs or cats, you can go to Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Right now, if I don't take a commercial break, I'm going to get yelled at. Quick break, then right back to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. The phone number 866-870-KRLA. Hey, a new study came out that says that now dogs can smell Parkinson's disease with almost 90% accuracy. Dogs of various breeds have been trained to detect smells related to Parkinson's disease, potentially offering a new approach to diagnosing the condition. Just another thing that our dogs do that are absolutely amazing. Hey, Jason, Santa Clarita, welcome to the Pet Show.
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Jason. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I got a multifaceted question about my Siamese kitty. She's about 2 years old. The neighbors gave her to me because they're moving to Arizona, where you moved to, and also they discovered that one of the younger family members was allergic to cats. She has some very interesting traits where it's like I can't pick her up. I've never heard her purr, but yet, like, say, when I'm on the phone or at my desk, she'll come up next to me, wrap her tail around my leg, and I think I've heard her meow maybe about 10 times the whole time I've had her.
All right, how old is the cat?
I would estimate about a year to 2 years.
And with your family she came from, that one nice family, not abusive, you don't think, in any way, shape, or form?
Oh, yeah. Oh, they loved that. The mom was crying when they gave her up, but they knew that she was going to be going to a good home with me. The wife.
Yeah, well, let me go over a couple things here. First of all, in terms of the cat not wanting to be picked up, a lot of people don't realize that we have strong hands, and very often we'll pick up a cat from under the belly, and then we'll drop them down, from a foot or 2 feet, and that can become painful, and they become really traumatized by it, and therefore they don't like to have their belly. So what I would do in your case is put your hand under a belly. Don't even touch a belly. Do a pretend rub. Don't even rub it. Just do a pretend rub, and over a period of weeks, get up a little bit higher, touch it and walk away, touch it twice and walk away, so she associates you touching with something positive. Okay. That's number one. What was the other question, the other problem besides the tummy?
Well, she loves to help me out in the yard raking leaves. Oh my God, you talk about, she's in heaven. She'll go to the pile of leaves, she'll attack the rake, she'll come at my feet and attack that, and then she'll plop on her back like she wants her belly rubbed, and therein lies the rub, because if I touch it, then it becomes round and claws city.
Yeah, so it's that when a cat exposes their belly, it's no different than when a dog exposes their belly. It's either total submission or total confidence. At this point, I think it's a little bit still submissive behavior. She's getting warmer to you, but she's not there yet. Little by little, if you follow through on that quick rub and walk away, she will come around, and I promise you, she'll be on her back waiting for the belly rubs on a regular basis.
And then one other interesting thing, and this is the most interesting thing of all, is like, I love this cat. I can tell
how much you love this cat. Yeah.
So we're raking leaves one day, and there's a wall, separates the neighborhood. And, it goes down steps, and there's, toward the front yard, there's a little, it's about waist high. Well, this woman was walking. We live in a cul-de-sac, so this woman was walking along the cul-de-sac, and she's coming over, around the horseshoe to my house, and the cat jumps up on the wall, and in front of me, because I'm raking, and then she starts growling at this woman. I mean I've never heard like growling almost like it wasn't like that rah thing like they do when they're in a fight. It was like a growl like a dog would do, and her ice blue eyes just started to darken.
Yeah, let me tell you what I'm hearing here. I know the people that had her before you were lovely people and loved the cat and really enjoyed the cat. I don't think the cat was socialized as much as the cat could have been socialized in terms of touch and exposure. Okay. And it sounds to me when you have a cat that's showing that much assertive or aggressive behavior when she sees something else, again, it's lack of exposure. But here's what's concerning me. I know that you like the cat raking the leaves with you. I think that's all great and it's all dandy and I love every minute of it. I'm just not a big fan of her being out there without some type of harness on. I'd rather you get her a harness and a long lead, a piece of whatever, just so she can't, for whatever reason, a male cat, or whatever. I want her to be safe. So I don't, I'm a big fan of cats being outside, provided they're on a leash and a harness. So what I'm going to do at this point, Jason, I'm putting you on hold. I'm sending you a copy of my book, How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. One of the most read chapters in there is how to get your cat to walk on a leash and harness. It's also a video on my YouTube channel channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. But I'll send you a copy of the book. I think it's fair that if a cat is taught to walk on a leash and harness, or quite honestly now, if you go to Amazon or any of the big players in social media, they have available large outdoor enclosures for cats, which are fantastic. It's not, it's not your mama's neighborhood anymore. I was just joking, when I was growing up, and I grew up on Long Island. I know you'd never know. I haven't lost my accent. When I grew up on Long Island, Oceanside, I knew everybody in the block. Everybody, I knew their grandparents, I knew their aunts, I knew their uncles, I knew their dogs, I knew their cats, I knew the dogs they had, the cats they had years. I knew everything. It's a different ball game now. It's a whole different ball game. Neighborhoods are different, and even our dogs and very often cats just don't receive that socialization that they did receive many, many years ago. All right, let me take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go to Todd, and then we have let's see who's up after Todd. We have Edward, and then we have Jason. Phone number here 866-870-CARE, but don't despair. You all know by now that when I get off the air here, I do my National Canadian Radio America Armed Forces radio show. You would be my first caller. So when I come back, I'm going to give you that phone number in case I don't get to your call. You'll be the first callers on the national show, which starts exactly 1 minute after I get off the air here. So quick break, and then right back at you. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. We're back on the show. Here's the deal. Listen, Todd and Edward, you're going to be my first two callers. Write this number down. Call me at 1 o'clock at this number. Be patient. Let the phone ring. 877-725-8255. 877-725-8255. Again, anyone can call. That's the national. It's the same type of show. I give away the same gifts. Starts at 1 o'clock, but be patient. That phone number, 877-725-8255. The reason I'm rushing a little bit, I see this thing here from my friend Jeremy. Jeremy, I don't have time to go to your call, but he wrote down that his border collie died from saltwater toxicity when he was at the beach. Taking your dog to the beach can be fun and enriching experience for you and the dog. However, going to the seaside comes with dangers. Drinking seawater can result in harmful side effects such as diarrhea and vomiting, and in extreme cases, it can actually lead to seizures and even death. So do not let your dogs drink salt. Great call, by the way, Jeremy. Maybe we'll talk about that more at a future date, but a lot of people are unaware that if they let their dog to the beach, just not too long ago, I was at the beach and I saw someone's dog running along the beach. Make sure you carry fresh water for your dog, because as I'm so sorry to hear, Jeremy, about the lossing of your border collie, but drinking salt water, sometimes they just lap it up, not realizing how dangerous it can be. So we did. Thank you, Jeremy. Great call, by the way. Anyway, you can call me if you have a question or comment about your pet. It's the same type of show. It starts in just a couple of minutes. Again, that number, 877-725-8255. We're a little bit out of time at this point, but thank you again for listening. I know we weren't on last week. This is my first week broadcasting from my new studio at my home in Arizona, so next week I'm sure will look a lot better to my YouTube people. Right now I look like that TV show Ghosts. But again, you can call me starting exactly 2 minutes at 877-725-8255. And once again, let me just remind everybody that during the week, I post a lot of information on my YouTube channel. I've been working on it now. We keep increasing. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, it's free, and literally there are many, many tips that could be helpful and even save your pet. So check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, and subscribe. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Suzette. Until next week, you all know what to do. Give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, one right between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you for listening to The Pet Show.